I'm gonna make sure you run for your life.
Okay, enough. Take him!
Go!
You know what's funny? I saw a good amount of tweets last night after the season finale saying, Jeremy, remind me never to doubt you again. You called it. The Wild Wild West certainly was an intriguing title. And ironically enough, Victoria dropped the title towards the end of the episode, right before the shootout began. But this was, as I mentioned in my episode, look, I will say this. If you don't watch The Oval, or you're one of those individuals who said, look, I stopped watching the show a season or two ago, and your reviews fill me in on what I need to know, which is not much of anything has changed, and your reviews are more entertaining than the actual show. So it's one of those situations where I highly encourage you, check out the season 5 review, because I go into full detail about why I feel this particular finale and the season in general was a failure. And as I deem it, the most disappointing finale or season in the entire series. And I honestly said that I think this might indeed be the worst finale in the entirety of The Oval. 5 seasons, 5 finales, but I would say this was the worst one. I gave it a 3 out of 10. Now, I think in one of my videos, I predicted that in terms of a shootout, because they were dropping a bunch, and that's the thing, you know, BET, they dropped a bunch of photos from the season finale. I want to be honest, I think that they knew this episode was going to be a dud, because if you'll notice, there was no sneak peek of this episode. And when I say sneak peek, I mean like a, 30-second to like 4-minute clip of this episode, because they knew, aside from the firefight at the end, they couldn't give anything away because nothing else would entice the fans to watch. And I mean, they dropped, I think a few of the cast members dropped about 5 to 7 photos from the finale, which consisted of the final firefight when the guns were pulled out, everybody was panicking, and that was it. And come to find, this was the last, 30 seconds of the actual episode. Seriously, it's like I said in my review, there are only 3 scenes that are worth watching. The first scene with Richard and Nancy, I thought that was really good. A scene towards the end of the episode where Jason talks with Hunter. And then I guess you could argue from the moment Sam goes into Hunter's bedroom, gets into the fight with Isaac, leading into the confrontation before the shootout. I will say I think to me, not the one-on-one, but the dialogue leading up to the shootout, I like that. But then the shootout itself happened, and it was just, what did I say in one of my videos? I'm pretty confident I said this in one of my Oval videos. Yeah, I don't think anybody of importance is going to die, because you got Hunter, who has Isaac, and he's going to have a bunch of nameless grunts, or in this case, what do you say, special forces, which, ironically enough, didn't Priscilla say that she hired special forces to beat the crap out of Sam at their house? I think that's what she said. So basically, we have no idea who these guys are, aside from the fact that they're tough and they have big guns. I mean, this was hinted at as Alonzo was telling Priscilla about Secret Service agents being replaced, and then Richard getting an eye of these guys and saying, look, I worked here a long time, and I've never seen Secret Service guys like that. And then, aside from the Victoria and the 9 characters, aka 9 characters who we know make their way upstairs. Because when I looked at the promotional photos, I'm like, okay. Because I don't think in any of those photos I saw the nameless agents, aka Eli's firepower, that was brought upstairs to remove Hunter from office. We didn't see that in the photos. So when we actually got to the episode, I'm like, who are these guys? And then that's when I knew they were fodder. Because I mentioned, I think something to the effect of like DC Comics. I'm like, it's kind of funny how Batman and other heroes usually don't kill, but it's kind of no rules are applied when, let's say, there's an alien invasion or something, and let's say the Joker or whoever has, like, let's say Joker or Lex Luthor or somebody like that, a mainstay comic book character. Let's say they have a bunch of nameless grunts or something like that, or even like a robot army or whatever. Like, the League will just go in and beat the crap and destroy and or potentially kill one of these guys. Because, it's not uncommon in one of those stories. Let's say Joker has a nameless henchman who is control of, like a Joker robot or some crap like that. Batman fights the robot and he isn't able to get the guy out in time. So when it blows out, he dies. But he'll never kill the Joker. And it's like, wait, what? And that's what it felt like here. It's like a bunch of NPCs were having a shootout because Isaac pulled Hunter out of there. Then we saw Simone and Eli, Priscilla. We saw all the people we know get out of there. Hell, even Bobby and Max, who had a badass line, hey, you ready to have some fun? They pulled out their guns. They were some of the first ones to get out of there. I'm like, wow, so these two make it out of there, and then they leave these other agents up there to get, killed. It's like, wow. There was no consequence. I mean, even Jason's dumbass, who was told to stay in his room, he came out into the hallway to see how everything was going to unfold. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute. How many of these characters know that he's still alive? Eli, Simone, I think Simone still knew he was alive. Well, no, they were trying to find him. I know Priscilla knew because she was told by Sam earlier in the episode about Jason being in the basement. Then you have Richard, Sam, that's 5. Kyle and Donald knew. Alan knew. Yeah, I think everybody, because I was wondering, like, Jason's standing right there and nobody's surprised, like, hey, isn't that the first son? Oh, yeah, Victoria knew. Never mind. So all those characters knew. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I just feel like this shootout was all show and no substance. It was impressive. Again, don't get me wrong. The firefighting itself was impressive. But honestly, I think the final fight last season between Simone and Victoria, that was more impressive than this shootout. Due to the fact it was two characters who we knew. And it was personal because Simone felt like, hey, she's trying to get my husband. And it was a good fight. Good fight on both, even though Simone kicked Victoria's ass. It was still a good fight. So then when they fell over the balcony, I still feel like it was a bit forced to have both of them fall over. Victoria, fine, but then Simone, it just felt like, well, we got to get her downstairs somehow, so let's just throw her over. But I felt like that was a better finale than this. So when it boils down to it, I think that the Oval, yeah, this was an awful season finale. The cliffhanger made no sense. I mean, it was just Tyler Perry, as always, having this huge blowout, pun intended, of a finale. But when it picks up next season, like, what exactly are you going to do? I mean, all the people that were shot, that we saw shot and fall over, so we don't know who they are. This is like the season 2 finale. Hang on, if I'm not mistaken, dang near every single season finale involves someone getting shot. I mean, season 2, that's when Victoria's dad had Hunter shot at, and he got covered in the blood of an agent. And then, of course, last season, it wasn't necessarily a shooting. It was a fight between Victoria and Simone. The Donald shooting thing happened, I think, in the penultimate episode, but we didn't hear or see anything about Donald's whereabouts in the finale. And then you had this. So, yeah. Well, that's all I got to say. I feel like this is just disappointing. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the shootout. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.